Here we are in section 1.4 exercises, part C, exam 1 review exercises, preparing for exam 1. Let's do it. Divide 8/9 over 5/18. Write that out a little bit nicer and we get 8/9 divided by 5/18. There we can see what we're going to do. 8/9 times 18/5. And what do we get? 8 times 18. Oh, I don't know that one right off the top of my head. It's 144, I think. And then 9 times 5 is 45. Here we see that this can simplify. There's a 9 there and a 9 there. So we know that we can divide by 9 and divide by 9. So we get 16 over 5. You can write it like this, or you could write it 5 goes into 16 3 times with 1 left over, 1/5. So 3/5 or 16/5. Next one, 8/9 divided by 4 2/3 is the same as 8/9 divided by, change this mixed number into an improper fraction. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14, 14/3. So that's the same as 8/9 times 3/14 equals, and let's see, we know we're going to be able to simplify once we multiply them out, because here's a 3 and a 3 goes into there, so we're going to be able to divide by a 3, and there's going to be a 2 goes into those two. So we've got a 2 that'll come out at the end. So it'll be a 6 that we can simplify by. 8 times 3 is 24. And 9 times 14 is 126. And if we divide both by 6, top by 6 is 4, and that divided by 6 is 21. So we get 4/21. Let's check our answers, make sure we're on the right path here. 3 1/5 or 16/5 for number 21, good. And number 22 gives us 4 over 21. Excellent. Number 23, much bigger problem here. 7 3/4 divided by a -4/5. So this is going to be changed into an improper fraction. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 3 is 31/4, times, flip this over, and we get a -5/4. Oh, good. Okay, so if we multiply those, it equals 31 times 5 is 155. 4 times 4 is 16, and positive times negative is negative. So we're stuck right there. Yeah, there's no simplifying that I can see up here or here. We could rewrite that as 16 goes into 155. 9 times, that'll give us 144 and 11 left over. Either one of these is okay. Let's check our answer. Yeah, -9 and 11/16 are 155/16. Excellent. All right, number 24. Change into a decimal. That means we're actually going to do the division. So we've got to do 5 divided by 12. And put some zeros here. Don't know how many we'll need, but 12 goes into 5. It doesn't. That's why we have the decimal. So now that we have the decimal in the right place, ignore it. So we can go 12 into 50 goes 4 times. 4 times 12 is 48. Subtract and we get 2. Drop down the 0. 12 goes into 20. Just one time. 1 times 12 is 12. Subtract and we get 8. Drop down the 0. 12 goes into 80. How many times? 6 times. 6 times 12 is 72. Subtract 80 minus 72 is 8. Oh boy, another 0. Oh, 12 going into 80. Look, we started repeating a pattern. We would go in 6 times and get 72, so we'd get another 6 out here. So this guy repeats forever. Let's write that out here, 0.416, and the 6 keeps going on forever. Let's double check that answer, number 24, 0.416. Great. Now, number 25, 7/9. So that's 7 divided by 9. Put a couple of zeros out here to change this into a decimal. 9 goes into 7, it doesn't. 9 goes into 70. Yeah, it goes 7 times. 7 times 9 is 63. Subtract, and we get 7. Drop down a 0, and we're repeating. 9 goes into 70 7 times. So the 7 will keep going on forever. So 0.7 as a repeater. Excellent. Next one, 2 sevenths. That's 2 divided by 7. Put a few decimals out here. 7 goes into 20 2 times. That's 14. Subtract that and get a 6. Drop down a 0. 7 goes into 60. Not quite 9 times, 8 times. It's 56. Subtract and we get a 4. Drop down a 0. 7 goes into 40. 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35. Subtract and we get 5 zeros. 7 goes into 50 7 times. 7 times 7 is 49. Subtract and we get a 1. Oh, we haven't repeated yet. Oh, good heavens. Maybe we need a few more zeros to see when this guy repeats. 7 goes into 1. Drop down that 0. 7 goes into 10 1 time. 1 times 7 is 7. 3. Drop down a 0. 7 goes into 30 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28. And subtract that and we get a 2. That would give us a 20 if we dropped it down. And we finally, if we can see that, the 20 and the 20, that's where it will repeat. We'll go into it 2 times and it will start this whole cycle over again. So this will repeat the 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4 forever. Now, if you didn't go so far, you could have stopped 0.29 if you rounded to the nearest hundredth, 0.286 if you rounded to the nearest thousandth, 0.2857 if you rounded to the nearest 10,000, always looking to the place past where you round to if you're going to round. Let's check our answer there. And it's 0.285714. Wow, I'm not sure how many of you would actually go through that whole process to find out where it repeats, but every fraction will eventually repeat a pattern. And in this case, it just took 6 numbers in order to repeat it. Good. All right, let's do number 27. Change into a fraction and simplify. This 3 is in the tenths column. So that's what we do. It's 3 tenths. And it can't be simplified. Let's double check our answer. Indeed, 3 tenths. Number 28, 0.055. This last 5 is in the tenths, hundredths, thousandths column. So we write down the number 55 and it ends in the thousandths column. But that right there can reduce. Notice that this ends in a 5 and this ends in a 0. Both of them can be divided by 5. So that's going to equal 11 over 200, it looks like. Let's double check our answer. 11 over 200. Great. And the last one, 0.375. Let's erase a little bit of what we had in the previous problem. There we go. 0.375 is going to be 375, and it ends in what column is that? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So that's going to be thousandths. All right, let's reduce it. Well, the little thing we did before where we divided by 5 and divided by 5, we can do that one again, and we get 375 divided by 5 is 75 over 200. Uh-oh, looks like we can do that again. Divide by 5, divide by 5. Hey, these are actually multiples of 25. Look at that. 75 is 3 times 25, so this time, instead of just dividing by 5 and then doing it again, I'm going to divide by 25, divide by 25, and I get 3. 200 divided by 25 is 8. And you could have done that in 2 steps. If you would have divided by 5, you would have gotten 15 over 40, and then you would have had to do it again. So that is the simplified version of this. Those are the same exact thing. Good.